our 2025 F1 season
predictions. Tommy, that tickles. Oh my God, we're here. The 2025 F1 season predictions. So let's get into it. Let's start with a good surprise of the 2025 Formula One season. And I'll kick things off. Thomas Bellingham. All right, here we go. My good surprise is Ollie Behrman. Because I don't think he's got enough hype coming into this. I don't think he has. Of course, he's substituted in. He's done very well when he is substituted in. He's done incredibly well in practice sessions as well. And he's at a team that I believe he will be able to flourish in. I genuinely do. I think that Ollie Behrman is going to perhaps surprise, with the name, get it, a lot of people. I do think he is a very special talent that has not been noticed yet across the board of Formula One fans. So I genuinely think he's going to cook this season. Ollie Behrman is my pick.
So my good surprise is Kimi Antonelli. Shock.
God, this guy.
All the eggs are going for the biggest downfall ever. I think Kimi Antonelli was so overhyped that he's almost become underrated by everyone now, and everyone thinks he's going to be terrible. And I just think he will have crashes, no doubt. He'll be like Max was, a bit erratic and have like crazy moments. But I also think there'll be races where it all comes together and he'll surprise a lot of people and show why he is incredibly hyped up by Toto Wolff, because he does have something special about him. I think he's going to have to definitely like kind of like Verstappen and all these other drivers that come in, that as long as the speed's there, you kind of need to get rid of all the other stuff. And I think he does have that. So that's why I've gone for good surprise. I think we'll see moments of brilliance from him.
It's either going one of two ways. Either he's excellent or he crashes so much that people are questioning him too early. You know, he wasn't ready for the Mercedes.
So much pressure. There's so much pressure on him.
Let's go to a big flop. No, I'm going for points here. I'm going for points. And I feel like this is absolutely signed, sealed, delivered before the season's even begun. It's Jack Doohan. It has to be Jack Doohan. I'm sorry. It's not Jack's fault. There's nothing against Jack Doohan right now. Although he is very much unknown as to how quick he is. He's had Abu Dhabi and that's it. And you can't really judge that race. But I just feel as though all the cards are stacked against Jack, which I do feel very sorry for him. And I just how you're going against the current in this one. Colapinto very much looks as if he might even have the seat however many races in. So I've gone for that purely because I don't think I can go for anyone else. It just makes sense in my head that this would be a flop. So sorry, Jack. It is nothing against you. It's just Alpine's way of going about things by the looks of things.
Okay, so a big flop.
If you
I have gone
dare,
for...
If you dare utter, my man.
Ferrari.
Are you kidding?
No. They are very hyped, Ferrari, going into this year. They're the Constructors' Championship favourites. And people are obviously hyping them up to have a great year and be very successful. My concerns are, firstly, the 2025 thing. I was very surprised when Fred Vasseur said it's a completely different car. That, to me, is a very strange call to basically be like, we're going to go all in on this new concept just before the regulation change. I think the reason for this is that I think Ferrari are going to be exceptionally good in 2026. And I think that if they start the year and they have the third fastest car straight out the blocks, or fourth, or whatever, they are basically like, right, all the eggs, 2026, let's go. Because they are going to have such a huge advantage going into 2026 with the engine formula and everything like that. And I think it will really suit Ferrari that if they do not go straight in and hit the ground running and be very quick and looking like they can challenge for the title, if they're a fair bit slower than McLaren, I genuinely think they'll just be like, right, let's focus on next year.
Well, I've done some research whilst you've been talking. McLaren have slightly better odds with some and are even with Ferrari on others. So they aren't the favourites, Tommy. So I completely disagree. I think you're completely finished. And is this the year that Tommy is the downfall of Tommy? That's what I'll be praying after that prediction. Loses race seat.
So this one is, I'm gone really bold on this. I'm gone loses race seat. Jack Doohan.
Wow, that's groundbreaking, that is.
Feel very sorry for him, but you don't sign Colapinto to sit on the pit wall. And it is such a shame for Jack Doohan to have all this media pressure and everyone saying it, but there's a reason they're all saying it, and it's because, it must be incredibly difficult to see Colapinto signed, and there's going to be a huge amount of pressure, and he's got to beat Pierre Gasly. I think he genuinely has to beat Pierre Gasly, otherwise they're going to swap him out. And I don't see that happening because Gasly had such an exceptional end to the year.
I have gone for Jack Doohan and
don't need
Tom Bellingham on the P1 podcast.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Kimi Antonelli.
No, but there are a few that you're like could happen. But look, I'm not losing points here. It's better to have one than none. That's a big phrase from me there. So yeah, Jack Doohan is the person that will lose their race seat, and that's all I'm going for here. New race winner. Do we believe someone who hasn't had P1 before is going to get P1? For me, it is no. No new race winner. And I have a feeling Tommy will be saying yes to this one because he is very much, as we've said several times, all eggs in one particular person's basket.
Yes, new race winner. I've gone for Kimi Antonelli. I don't think Mercedes will be that strong, so I'm taking a big risk here. With that logic, because I think they're going to be another team that are going to be very much focused towards 2026, but I think it will still be close, and we saw even with Mercedes having such an unpredictable car, they had that random kind of stage in the middle of the season where the car could deliver. And I think Antonelli just will be one of those drivers that he could just put in a spectacular performance and it all come together for him to get a race win. And it might be the one and only highlight of his season, and then I can cash in good surprise, as we mentioned. But yeah, I could see him winning a race, as we mentioned when we did our kind of bold predictions.
Okay, so that's going to be wrong, but let's see. We'll come back to that in December. I'm sure one of us will get clipped up one way or another. We're now going to Constructors' Champion. My Constructors' Championship winner is, drumroll please, Ferrari. Ferrari going to do it. They're getting the dub. Come on. How could they not? They've got Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc in the same team. They are going to be scoring points on points on points. And Ferrari were decent last year. Not decent enough across the entire year, but they were decent. Charles Leclerc was... And, this is against your opinion, Tommy, was incredibly consistent for most of the year last year. He had a bit of a time, yes, where he got lapped 3 out of the 4 races, and we won't talk about that. But the rest of it, he was one of the drivers of the season. I don't think you can deny that. So if Charles brings that again, which he seems to do most seasons, alongside a very motivated Lewis Hamilton, he's got Constructors' Championship written all over it. I'm putting my house on it.
Constructors' Champion. No surprise based on my earlier prediction. I've gone for McLaren. McLaren, I feel like, have the perfect recipe to deliver a great season again. They had a very, very, very strong car. The best car, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinions. And you look back on, they won the Constructors' Championship. And they should have won the drivers as well, definitely. And going into the new season, I think the McLaren will be incredibly competitive again. And I think McLaren are more likely to gamble on basically being like, this could be a massive year for us. Let's just keep development going, while the other teams are maybe keeping their eye on the next regulations and things like that. They might just be like, go on, let's just go ham on this and get lots of wins and things. So I'm back in McLaren.
Who is going to be world champion?
I am going for Max Verstappen. I'm backing him again, and he has been like so underplayed by some people. I think going into this new year that he's going to be terrible. and even people that think like, oh well, Max, he'll still win a couple of races or still do a good job. There's no way he doesn't challenge for the championship, in my opinion. Even last year when the car was third best, it was such a close run thing between him, Norris, and Leclerc when the cars were a lot closer. So he's got that consistency over a full season. We've seen that with last year. He's now won multiple world championships in so many different ways. One time in a completely dominant car, one when it was all stacked against him, going into like the final races, and he didn't look like he had the car to be able to like take it over the line. So I'm backing Max still.
Okay, wow. I thought you might have gone a bit different, but you've gone for Max Verstappen. That's very interesting. Okay, all right. So my driver's world champion is... Sorry, let me just... I just want to make sure that my voice is very clear, very crystal with my prediction here. My driver's world champion is Charles Leclerc. Come on.
What?
Come on. You never knew that. This is the year. It has to be. Look, come on. I'd never forgive myself if the year he became world champion is the year I didn't predict him. And this isn't the most delusional thing in the world, okay? Charles Leclerc has Lewis Hamilton alongside him, which I think is going to do him a world of good. I think Charles is going to go to a next level of motivation, pushing himself, because he has Lewis Hamilton next to him. That this is... Not that Charles has to prove himself much, I would say. Of course, he has to win a world championship, and in many people's eyes, that is something that ticks off a box. But if Charles was to beat Lewis Hamilton in his own backyard in the sense of coming to Ferrari, then that's going to look amazing for him. So I feel as though he will take himself to a new level this year. Ferrari have to deliver him a car. But if he does, I think Charles has absolutely every capability, every single skill set to win a world championship. He does. And this might, some people might think I'm delusional in that sense, but I do think he is world championship ready. He just needs a car that allows him to do that.
It is open. It's open, and that is the brilliant thing about it. Can't wait.
Okay, let's go to our one crazy prediction for the season. Mine is, and again, I am so sorry if this season is a complete stinker. With 2 races to go, at least 4 drivers will still be able to win the World Championship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, look, come on. We've just said how unpredictable this season is. You've got McLaren, definitely the favourites. Ferrari, not far behind. You have Max Verstappen, who I'm not discounting being able to win the World Championship. I think it's going to be stacked against him in the sense of the car performance, and we're going to have to see how far Max Verstappen is able to go. But I can see it. I can absolutely see it. So watch Max Verstappen wrap it up with 7 races to go. That's what I'll say on that one.
My one crazy prediction is Aston Martin score less than 50 points. I feel like points are going to be a struggle for Aston Martin, even with Alonso at the wheel. I think they scored a lot of points early in the year last year. They're not going to have Newi's magic for a while, and even still, I don't think it's gonna make that big difference until we go into future regulations and things.
Let's go now to a new segment which will be featuring in every single one of our prediction podcasts moving forward. So every single Grand Prix prediction podcast, we are going to have this, and it is a Patreon prediction. Okay, so if you are part of our P1 Patreon, and we love you very much if you are, we will both select one prediction from your suggestions and have it as our own. And we will...
score points with it.
Yeah, and we can score points with it
terrible.
or not. Yeah, exactly.
So please be good.
Okay, so, Tommy, why don't you hit us with yours first?
I've gone for Minerva's prediction, Hamilton beats Leclerc across the season. Which I'm saying is a bold prediction, because if we go back to our teammate which finishes higher, Leclerc got 75% of the votes, so it's not expected. I obviously went for Hamilton, so I'm gonna again put all the eggs in the basket and go for that one.
Good. Thanks, mate. You're just relentless, aren't you? I thought it might be safe because you'd already kind of said it in the Teammate Battles pod, but no, clearly straight back with that locked in. Okay, my P1 Patreon prediction is from Katie, and it is multiple teammate collisions from the same team. Ooh. So multiple was more than one, but doesn't have to be more than two. So collisions can be, I'm thinking Gasly Ocon at Monaco, for example. That was definitely a collision. I'm thinking wheel banging. I'm thinking just generally being in the slipstream. That could be seen as a collision of some description. I will do everything in my power.
Ferraris going for the world title.
Nah,
crash.
They're not going to crash. No. They're going to be locking in both titles. No issues whatsoever with Charles Leclerc beating out Lewis Hamilton. And I disagree with your P1 Patreon prediction. And I disagree with most things you've said in this whole podcast. So that's great. Wow, look at us.
That is good.
Starting 2025 with disagreement. You wanted it. You've now got it. We now never agree again. Okay, that is a fascinating set of predictions. I cannot wait to see how it unfolds. 2025, look, I think we need to just end the podcast saying that this is going to be the worst season we've ever seen in the last 15 years, just to balance the power a little bit here, okay? Because I feel like we're getting a little bit over the top, but hopefully not. That would be great, wouldn't it? Tommy, what are your final thoughts from this 2025 season prediction pod?
Bring on the racing, because the unknown is just what is making this so good, and predictions is going to be a lot of fun this year, just going into each weekend and it being a bit more of a guessing game. And I think the kind of development and the way some teams will back off and some teams will go forward, I think the season will naturally, with a change of rules, it will keep potentially even changing again like we saw last year, and that makes predictions a hell of a lot more fun. So cannot wait for it.
Hell yeah. And my final thought is I hope you're enjoying the new thumbnail photos, the new graphics on the videos, and everything else in between that we're introducing this year. We're keeping it fresh. We're keeping it real, aren't we, Tommy? So looking forward to a whole new season with you, mate, and for everybody who was watching and listening, sign me up. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you very soon. Lots of love. Take care. Sweet dreams. Bye.
Bye.